Hey guys, it's Fadra from All Things Fadra, and I am just back from sunny Southern California, spent a beautiful sunny weekend in Central Maryland, and today we have a cool rainy spring day. But what can I tell you? They can't all be beautiful sunny days, and that's how real life is, and that's how real driving is. But we're not here to talk about the weather, we're here to talk about this baby right here. This is the 2019 Toyota RAV4 Hybrid all-wheel drive. I forgot to throw the XSE in here, which is the trim model that we are looking at. And I'm going to give you a quick spoiler, just in case you don't make it to the end of the video. I love this vehicle. So compact SUVs are kind of my sweet spot. I kind of love them. And this one, if I'm being honest, offers just about everything you might want in one. But I don't want you to just take my word for it. I want to show you everything that I love about this RAV4, both inside and out. Let's start with a quick walk around and I'll show you all of the accents on the XSE that I think are so cool. So if you are pleasantly surprised by this complete redesign of the Toyota RAV4, you wouldn't be the only one. I was pleasantly surprised when I saw this at some of the auto shows this year. I believe I saw it maybe first at the DC Auto Show, and it was very similar to this. It's a two-tone, and the two-tone is something that you're going to find exclusively on the XSE trim level. This is kind of a sport trim level, and you'll see, of course, the 18-inch black painted alloy wheels, which I love. It gives it a super sporty look. You'll see the black accents on the outside. This also has quite a few upgrades, and I'm going to share that with you, but I just want you to get a sense of this really aggressive body style. So I think it's going to be either a love it or hate it kind of look. Personally, I mean, it's a little boxy in the back, but I think it still pays tribute to what the RAV4 has looked like for years, but it looks so much more updated, and you are going to be so impressed with the interior. Let's go take a look. So in case you've forgotten, I have actually owned a Toyota Camry hybrid and a Toyota Avalon hybrid. So I'm well versed in the Toyota hybrid driving, and I'm definitely going to have you experience that with me. But before we do that, we really need to take a look at this interior, because this is where I'm just blown away with all the extra little details that Toyota has added. So I'm going to show you the things I love, and then I'll talk about the things that I don't necessarily love, and I will give you my overall verdict by the end of this video. First thing we're going to do, especially if you're not familiar with a hybrid, is we're going to turn it on, because this is where the differentiators start. It's so quiet. But the car is on, and if you're not used to a hybrid, you're not going to hear the roar of the engine like you're used to. I want to walk you through some of my favorite features and some of the things that you need to know. So this has a wireless charging pad right here, which is great for your phone if your phone is enabled for that. My phone is. So all you do is put it down, and there we go. It's starting to charge. Isn't that perfect? Now, the downside is that that's great for charging, but if you want to actually take advantage of Apple CarPlay, you're going to have to go ahead and connect your phone. And then once you do that, you will see up on the screen, there we go, the Apple CarPlay options. So this is a beautiful screen. It's a big screen. I don't know the dimensions on it. And it's a very tactile screen. So like the climate control buttons, it's got this rubbery, grippy feel. And I like the look and I like the feel of it. But this is all of your controls up here, from your volume to everything that you need to do. So this would be your Apple CarPlay controls. But if you want to go back to the home menu, you use a button. And then from here, it's a combination of buttons and touch screens. And I actually kind of like that, because sometimes you just want to get to something very quickly. So Apple CarPlay, definitely well used. And something that I don't talk about too often is the sound system, because I'm kind of a nerd and I listen to a lot of podcasts and audiobooks. But I was listening to some music in here, and this has a fantastic sound system. So this is a JBL premium system, and I was listening to some tunes on the way here and thought, this is pretty awesome. Okay, let's quiet that down. Let's go back down here and I'll show you a couple other things. This is probably one of my favorite features. Maybe it's been on some other vehicles, but I haven't noticed it. And I can't show you unless I'm buckled up. So let me do that real quick. Okay, I'm buckled up now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out of park. I'm going to put it in drive. And this is called a hold button. It's basically a brake hold. So I'm going to press it down. And up here on the dash, you'll see that green hold right there. Now, you'll also see this hold, which means that the hold is engaged. And what I'm trying to say is, I just took my foot off the brake and I'm not moving, even though I'm in drive. And that is because it's a hold, basically. And if I want to go, I just put my foot on the gas and there I go. Now this is great if you're at stoplights and you don't want to put it in park and then forget it's in park, and when it's time to go, then everybody's honking at you. So you can use this, and what I like about that feature is that once you turn it on when you're in the vehicle, it stays on the whole time. So every time you hit the brakes, that hold re-engages. Okay, while we're here on the center console, I want to show you something cool that I like to explore a lot of the settings. If I go to settings, and I was playing around with some of this stuff, okay? Look at this, meter type. So I have it set to digital, but look what happens when I switch it to analog. Isn't that so cool? Now I have an old school speedometer. So if you're the kind of person that you're sort of visual and you need it like that, you can do that. And this is even more brilliant. I could change the units to kilometers. Hey, I'm driving to Canada. I'm all good. And how smart is that? Because I wonder if they can now export the same vehicles to the US as they do to Canada. While I'm showing you around the dashboard, let me show you this kind of clever design. So they have these rubber gripped areas that where you could put your phone, you could put change. And I love that they even gave consideration to the passenger. So this is a great place for the dude in your life that gets in the car and is always like, where do I put my phone and my wallet? You just put it right there, right? My husband loves that. I saw him do it several times. And back here, of course, we've got our cup holders like we always do. And we've got a console. This is all the boring stuff, but you want to know this. You want to know about the USB ports here as well. So underneath where the wireless charging pad is, that's where we also see a USB connection. That's the connection you're going to use if you want to hook up your phone to the CarPlay or Auto, and also a 12-volt port. And then I love, maybe it's a different demographic altogether, but there is still an auxiliary port down here. So some cars are starting to put a USB-C port there. We've got an auxiliary port here still. Maybe Toyota thinks their RAV4 drivers are a little bit old school. Now, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about safety. Safety is really important, and Toyota comes with a lot of standard safety features. And the XSE, this actually has the XSE technology package, which has additional safety features. I will cover all of that on my blog, but I want to show you a couple cool things that you could consider them safety features, but they're really, I think they really make driving a lot easier for you. Let me show you, they're camera related. So when I put it in reverse, no big deal, right? We've got our backup camera. But Toyota actually gives you two views. So this is, if you look down here, this gives you like a pie wedge. It shows you really what's behind you, and that's what a typical, I think, rear camera will do. Now I put it into this wide angle mode. The black bars shrink down, and you really can see much further beyond and to the side of the vehicle. I keep it in this mode all the time for safety reasons. I think that is fantastic, and I love that. We'll put it back in park, and I'm going to show you another camera feature, and that is up here. It's a little harder to show you, but this is the rear view mirror, okay? No big deal. It's showing something in the rear view. But let's say that you don't have complete visibility. Maybe you went to Costco and you've got too many paper towels back there. We're just going to flip this, and now it goes to camera mode. So now I'm seeing what is behind me via a camera. I know other cars have this, but I've never used it and I just think it's so cool. Now, that is a lot to talk about in the front seat, but like I said, I feel like this vehicle was really created with the driver in mind. They put a lot of nice options, a lot of great features for safety, for comfort. By the way, these seats are some of the most comfortable seats I've ever driven. I think the lumbar support is just on point, and I do have a package in this that gives me my heated steering wheel that I love. So it's really checking all the boxes for me, but I haven't spent much time in the back. And I haven't used the cargo space for much except to haul big bags of mulch because it's that time of year. So why don't we head in the back? Hi, I'm sitting in the back. And if it looks a little crowded, it's because I've got all my video gear here because it's raining outside. So I've got my big bag of gear, but I have tons of room back here. Of course, the seat in front of me is pulled all the way forward because I was the driver. And even if I put my bag on the floor, I have a lot of space. I'm going to show you my foot space. I have a lot of foot space. So what do we have back here? Well, we have 2 USB ports. That's a must. We've got rear vents, which I know you guys think that is silly to bring that up, but I have a vehicle that does not have vents in the rear, so I always check to make sure it has it. Of course, it's got this center console, which simply has cup holders here. You could actually fit some bottles of water in the door. And other than that, it's pretty basic back here. The only thing I can say is that I feel like I'm sitting very low. So I am a short lady, and I feel like if honestly how I feel is that I feel like I'm sitting like this. Like I feel like I'm sitting really low. I would like it if I was up a little higher, like some cars, they call it stadium seating, where the rear seat is a little bit higher so they can see out. So I'm not that crazy about the back seat, but then again, I'm doing the driving most of the time, so the back seat doesn't matter that much to me. All right, there is no third row in this vehicle, but there is some cargo space. Let's go check that out. Okay guys, I'm braving the rain for you to show you the back, even though there's a weird construction truck over there that keeps like watching me do this. I don't know why. Isn't it totally normal to be standing outside with a car and a camera? All right, we're gonna click on the power lift gate and I'll show you what's inside. Okay, here we go in the back. It's got actually pretty deep storage. I don't have the specs on it right now, the dimensions, and it's pretty wide too, so I kind of like that. Okay, so back here we have a 12-volt port. All right, and guess what? I can't, as far as I can tell, got a little cargo hold here. Let's see what's under here. A spare, that's good. But I don't see a way to put the seats down from back here. So that's kind of a bummer because I like to be able to do that. So let me go here and I mean, it's certainly easy enough. One button and it's down. Let me try the other side. No push buttons in the rear, but it's still pretty easy to put the seats down. You just pull the lever and the seat goes flat, and plenty of room between the back seat and the front seat, so you don't need to move it forward. Let's take a look in the back. Like I said, I think that you have pretty good space back here, and I love that you don't have to pull the front seats forward in order to put the back seats down. You have a good amount of cargo space, and I especially like that it is a wide opening, which is crucial when you're trying to haul stuff. All right, the last thing we're going to do, last but not least, is we're going to drive this vehicle, and I'm going to show you some of the things about it that are a little quirky. Some of it is just native to a hybrid, and some of it is just a little bit different. The first one is reverse. And I'm going to put my window down to see if you can hear the sound that it makes. Can you hear that? It's like, and it's going to keep that sound the whole time that you are in reverse. And that is to alert people around you that an electric vehicle is actually in motion. Hybrid electric vehicle is in motion. I think the sound is grating, annoying, so I'm going to put it back in drive. The other thing I want you to listen for is the sound as we drive forward. The sound of the hybrid engine. And it might be a little hard to hear on camera, but a hybrid typically makes a little bit of a whine sound. I like it. It's kind of like people that like the whine of a turbo. I like the whine of a hybrid engine. And the only reason I mention it is because sometimes in the car, maybe it's more when I have the windows up. Let's try that. When I have the windows up, I can hear it. It almost sounds like a siren off in the distance. So I have found myself more than a couple times going like, oh, where's the siren coming from? And there, of course, was no siren. The last thing that I want to mention about driving is the transition from electric to gasoline. And, you know, as I mentioned, I've driven several Toyota hybrids. I've owned several Toyota hybrids. And we're not quite there yet. But I find that the transition is a little louder than I would expect, a little rougher than I would expect, and a little laggier than I would expect. It's not bad. I'm going to show you that this car has great pickup. Can you hear the engine sound? All right, we're going to try that again, except we're going to try it in sport mode now. It just revs a little higher and it gives you a little bit more pickup. Your fuel estimate will probably suffer as a result, but it's fun to drive in sport. So much to love about the Toyota RAV4 XSE, the 2019 update inside and out. I hope you were as impressed with everything as I was. But you know, there are always just a few things for me to pick apart. I'm going to step outside of the vehicle so you get one last look, and I'll tell you just a couple things that I didn't love. Okay, we're going to wrap things up, and I'm going to try and be quick to beat the rain. So for the Toyota RAV4, you have 4 trim levels: the LE, the XLE, the XSE, which is what this is, and the Limited. I tried to look through what this doesn't have that the Limited does, and there's really not a whole lot. You don't have the memory buttons for your seats. No big deal. You cannot get the option for a hands-free liftgate. No big deal. And you cannot get the bird's eye view camera. Now that is something I would like to have on my vehicle, but I could live without that. What you do get are a lot of the black accents, the two-tone coloring, which totally makes this car, if you ask me. Okay, now let's talk about the things that I didn't love about the RAV4. It's a very, very short list. Like I said, this is a good vehicle. So, first of all, on this trim level, the XSE, it only comes in black on the interior. Now, I will admit it's very sporty looking, but I like lighter interiors, so that's sort of a downside for me. Not a big deal. Toyota uses something called Entune. It's their own proprietary app that is supposed to integrate your phone with the entertainment systems, and to be honest, why? I don't know. I don't know why they still have this system. I downloaded the apps. I tried to get it to work on my phone. Every time I got in the car, it asked if I wanted Entune to work with my phone. I said yes, but I could never really figure out what it was doing. My advice, just plug it into Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and call it done. You'll be good. You'll have everything that you need. I also wish, and this is just a tiny picky thing, that, and this is not Toyota specific, that we would get to the point where I could use wireless charging and Apple CarPlay. Instead, I still have to plug in, make that USB connection to make Apple CarPlay work. I'm not faulting you, Toyota, for that, but if you wanted to come up with a solution, that would be okay. And then the last thing, guys, this is the sheet that has that big number on it that you always want to hear. So the RAV4 Hybrid XSE all-wheel drive, this particular one has an MSRP base price of $33,700. We added in the technology package, which it gives you the wireless charging, and it gives you a couple safety features like rear cross traffic braking, intelligent clearance sonar. I mean, get as many safety options as you can, but you'll pay for that. We've got the panoramic sunroof with front power tilt slide moonroof. I love that. It's got the XSE weather package, which gives me, of course, my heated steering wheel. I gotta have that. there's also the premium audio system with nav. Now, here's where it gets a little shaky. You know, this is the Entune 3.0. Like I said, Entune as an app, I don't really get. Premium audio, I totally get. Navigation, I don't really get because I'm using Google Maps. So at $16.20, that's a pretty hefty upgrade. I think it's worth the upgrade for premium auto, but I don't know if you need all that. And then some extras like the color. So with all of that said, with delivery, destination charges, everything out the door, the MSRP on this Toyota RAV4, as you see it, is $38,175. I didn't mean to do a dramatic pause there. So if you're asking me, is that a good price? I think that's a little high for a compact SUV. Now, you're always going to pay a little more for a hybrid, probably at least $2,000 more than you will for a gasoline engine. If you're going to go for the RAV4, I would absolutely go for the hybrid. I would just say make sure you know the true market value and always look for the best deal out there because I bet you can get it cheaper than that. Anyway, do you love it? Do you love the RAV4? Do you not like the RAV4? Tell me what you think about it. Tell me what you think about the inside. Tell me what you think about the outside. Tell me what you think about some of the driving that I've showed you. And if you want more information, don't forget to go to allthingsfadra.com where I always do a full written review to go along with the videos. With that said, leave me a comment if you've got something to say. Give it a like if you like it. If not, don't do anything. And then please be sure to subscribe because I would love for you to come back and go on more car adventures with me next time. Thanks, guys.